Hello and welcome to One Cool Thing, PC Mag's daily show where we will Roku. Rock you with the Roku. I'm Sasha Segan. This is Will Greenwald. As always, we are going to show you a cool thing which we are testing out here in PC Mag Labs. And today it is the two new streaming devices. I don't want to call them sticks because this is not a stick.
Yeah, it's the Roku Premiere and Premiere Plus.
Right.
Actually, they are both this. The device itself, identical between the two of them. The difference here is the two remotes, which is a $10 difference between them. Also, the Premiere Plus is currently exclusive at Walmart. You can get the regular Premiere anywhere.
Okay, so let's start with kind of first principles. Most people nowadays have some form of smart TV.
Yeah.
So who is buying a Roku device now?
If you don't have a smart TV, or if you don't like your smart TV's platform, we've seen some very good ones. LG's WebOS is pretty solid. Samsung has been up and down. They have some issues with their platform. Sony's moved on to Android TV. You can get Roku TVs and Amazon Fire TV like TVs, but maybe what you want to watch isn't on your smart platform and you want Roku instead because Roku has more things. And in that case, Roku's great. Or if simply you have an older TV that isn't smart, or if you have there are a couple of reasons just to get a dedicated, separate device like this.
Yeah, for instance, I actually just bought a Roku myself this week. And the reason I bought it was because I have a 4-year-old Samsung Smart TV where Samsung stopped updating the applications on it. Yep. And so as a result, Hulu now crashes every 10 minutes. And we got sick of rebooting Hulu every 10 minutes. And so rather than spending $300 on a new TV, we thought we would spend a fraction of that on a Roku.
300?
What?
300?
300 on a new TV, yeah.
How big is the TV?
40 inches.
That's about right. I can find some recommendations for you.
Yeah, there you go. Let's take a question, but we are going to get to the specs, I promise.
How many Rokus use voice control, and what's the best one for it?
Every Roku can use voice control with the Roku app on your phone, but basically everything except the Premiere and the two Roku Expresses have a voice remote of some form. So there's a pinhole mic on here, you press a button and you can search for content. It is actually very basic. It's not the same sort of control you get with Alexa on Amazon Fire TV or with Google Assistant on an Android TV or with Siri on Apple TV. It's not a voice assistant, it's just voice search, but it's still pretty handy.
Now, wait a minute. So I see two Roku remotes here, and one of them does not have a pinhole.
Yep. This is the one that goes with the Roku Premiere, the standard one, the $40 4K streamer. This is something that really is the biggest point of these. We're getting 4K media streamers for less than $50 now, and that's a big deal. So the $40 one is a non-voice remote, so it is infrared only, which means you need to have this in front of your TV so you can point it at it, like a regular IR remote. This one uses a Bluetooth connection. It has IR as a backup, but it does use a wireless connection, so we can just control it without actually pointing it, and that's great.
Okay, so let's step through. Roku has a very rich and confusing lineup of basically products at every $10 price point.
The Express is HD, that's like $30. The Express Plus is HD, but it has legacy connectors, so if you want to use, I believe, composite or maybe S-Video, there's analog video output on that, so you can use it for your older TVs. That's $40, it's more of an exclusive one. The Premiere is 4K, $40, infrared only. Premiere Plus, $50, 4K, voice remote, Walmart exclusive. The streaming stick is 4K, voice remote, $60. It has a more powerful Wi-Fi antenna. That's the benefit of it.
Okay.
The Ultra then is has everything on it. So it is.
The Ultra has an Ethernet port and a USB port.
Ethernet port and USB, and it has a remote with a headphone jack on it, so you can do private listening without using the Roku app and your phone. You can just plug in headphones, and it comes with new JBL headphones starting at the end of the month, into the side of the remote and listen to what you're watching without going through the TV speakers. Okay,
so for people who aren't familiar with Roku, show us some of the Roku interface and show us some of the content you can get on here. What's special about Roku?
Roku is just a very simple, accessible interface for getting any streaming service. It's a lot like Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV, those sorts of things, but it's very big, it's friendly, it's one of the first big names for streaming, I believe Netflix premiered on Roku. I might be not sure about that, but...
Roku's been around since 2002.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So, there's Google, the Google Movies and TV. Google Music isn't on there for a weird reason. Netflix, Hulu, Sling, PlayStation View. This is basically the best selection of streaming apps you have across the board because it doesn't have the big like holes that the Amazon TV does. It doesn't have Google. Apple TV just doesn't have a lot of that. Smart TV platforms that are other ones don't have some of them.
Now, is anything missing? For instance, Apple's missing, right?
Yeah, of course, Apple's missing on everything but Apple.
Right.
We have a question.
So you've got video networks like Twitch and YouTube on there. Do you feel like the execution there is like convenient enough that you'd actually use it through Roku instead of just using your computer or your phone?
Yes, actually, especially for YouTube, but Twitch is a weird point, if I can actually bring this up now. I have it on my Roku account, but it's an obsolete app. They're not updating it for, I guess, whatever reason. Usually it actually shows a thing that says, hey, this isn't being updated, but you can browse. I think you can log in and, yeah, you can sign in and have your own, follow your own people. It's, it's not as easy as it's not as powerful as using a mouse and keyboard to enter whatever usernames and URLs you need, but it's pretty good.
And I will say that I do use YouTube on my smart TV, on my TV platform all the time, primarily to watch music videos.
You can do that. There's also Vivo on here too.
Yep. But not Vivo only has a certain set of videos.
Right.
And YouTube has all the videos in the world, basically.
And again, if you sign in, which I'm not signed in on this one right now, you can just go through all the channels that you follow. So
it's just nice. Handy. It's just nice having a lean-back, big screen experience.
Yeah.
Okay. So we showed off a little Roku. We talked about the difference between.
There is this new feature that they added on the most recent Roku update. It will be on older Rokus as well, or at least the last generation ones. And they are rolling out Roku OS 9 soon, which will add a few extra things. But featured free, the Roku channel and things like Crackle and these network-specific channels like NBC or like FX and just things like that, you can look at everything that's available to watch for free. So like on CW, if you want to catch up on that, you can watch it and featured free without signing into anything, which is a pretty big boon.
Yeah.
So if you don't want any subscription service, if you don't even want to do Netflix, this gives you a lot of selections.
Okay, so we talked about Rokus versus Rokus. Now, how about Roku versus Amazon and Chromecast? Because in this price point, those are really the three that most people will be considering.
Yep, especially with the Fire TV 4K coming out, which is going to be $50, I believe, at the end of the month, around then. We're going to see how the Fire TV 4K performs. We've been really impressed with the Fire TV, which I believe is currently $70, and the Fire TV Cube, which is hands-free. It's basically an Echo speaker combined with a Fire TV, so you can just use Alexa and control it with your voice, and there's a remote, without needing to hold it up like this, which you need to do with this voice remote. That's a pretty big thing. Amazon has a bit more sort of power and more features. There's Alexa on it, which is sort of the big deal. But we have a question.
Are there voice recognition support for other languages? Do you happen to know?
That's a good question. I would have to check that. But it might be regional, or let's see if...
Well, the thing is, it's only a voice search, right? So you're just telling it the names of programs, right?
Yeah. Though,
you're not asking it free-form queries. It's not an Alexa. So the question is really, I think, rather than other languages, I think it's more other accents.
Yeah, and that's definitely been an issue we've seen with a lot of voice control, of just needing to set the right region or sort of localization to better pick up an accent.
Yep.
Like I've heard Scottish is very bad with Siri, or Siri is very bad with Scottish, voices.
So against
Chromecast,
Amazon,
you didn't mention, but actually our review of the new Chromecast is up now. It is pretty much identical to the old Chromecast. It supports 1080p 60 now instead of 1080p 30, but nothing's changed from the Chromecast otherwise.
So it's not 4K.
Nope, you still need to get the $70 Chromecast Ultra.
And for Chromecast, that'll play whatever you can play in your browser, on your computer, or your phone. It just doesn't have an on-screen menu.
Yep.
Okay, so
but it means you need to actually use your other device. You can't just use a remote to look at whatever you want on here without worrying about anything else.
Yeah, and that's why I'm personally rather anti-Chromecast in that way, because when I sit down on the couch, and I'm a TV watcher, I'm a big consumer of many kinds of media, but it's like when I read a book, I want to read it on an e-reader. When I watch TV, I want to watch TV on a TV. I don't want to read a book on my phone. I don't want to watch TV on my phone.
I'm genuinely surprised Google didn't announce an Android TV device straight up, like a first-party one, because they're still doing Android TV. There's a new version. It's on the Sony TVs. The NVIDIA Shield TV is still an active device and still a pretty powerful one, even though it's like 3 years old now. And Android TV is a good system.
There's the weird Xiaomi box, but the problem
There's that too,
yeah, but the problem is Xiaomi has no idea how to market anything in the United States.
Yeah, it's probably not going to get easier.
Yeah. Any more questions out there about these Rokus?
We had a question about TVs. Like, what do you think is the company making the best TVs right now?
Ugh. For high-end OLED, LG is certainly up there because they've like mastered the OLED game, and they've consistently impressed us. Samsung, however, with their QLED TVs, have put out some of the most impressive color that I've measured in testing. The Q9FN, that's also as expensive as an OLED TV. For budget, I'm a fan of TCL. Their 6 series is probably the best deal you can get because of excellent color and contrast, and you can get a 55-inch one for $700.
And those have built-in Rokus.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Another question.
So it says they use Kodi on a spare laptop that drives their 55-inch TV. Would there be any advantage to going to a dedicated system like Roku?
It'd be a lot easier. I mean, instead of needing to juggle Kodi, which is we poked around with Kodi a little bit. It is a very powerful system, but it is also, it feels like the Linux of media streaming platforms of, you can get a lot out of it, but you need to put a lot of work into it. Whereas even if you have like a big library on your computer, you can just set up Plex and load Plex on a Roku, and that's done. So it's just a much more convenient way to do it. So it's more accessible to a lot of audiences.
Yep. Next question.
Is there Dolby Atmos or Dolby Vision support?
No, this supports HDR10, HDR, but not Dolby Vision. And Atmos is it's an audio thing, so it not really. It might have Atmos. I'm not sure. I'd have to check.
Do any of the Rokus support Dolby Vision?
No, actually,
Not even the Ultra.
I'm pretty sure they just do HDR10, though I'd have to double check that.
Does do any streaming sticks? Any other streaming sticks? Dolby Vision?
The Fire TV might. I'm pretty sure the NVIDIA Shield TV and Apple TV 4K do. And actually, some Roku TVs, like the, I believe some do. The Dolby Vision versus HDR10 is this sort of weird mishmash of HDR formats that is still being sorted out. It's like well established, but now HDR10 Plus is coming out. We got HLG, and they're the sort of distinctions that you're only going to notice with some very specific types of content and sources of content, but it is kind of an issue, but the whole lists of what has what is something I would need to check my notes on.
Another question.
All right, one last one. Is there a way to do screen mirroring with Roku?
Yes, you can use the Roku app to mirror your smartphone screen. It's not quite as powerful as casting from Google or casting to a Chromecast, because you can cast a tab from Chrome from your computer or cast your entire Chromebook or Android device. It is a bit better for mirroring than Apple TV. Not Apple. Apple TV actually is very good for mirroring if you have an iOS device.
Yeah.
It's a bit better than Amazon Fire TV for screen mirroring, which is still kind of like behind for mirroring, but only there. But yeah, if you use the Roku app, you can at least mirror stuff from that and play content from your phone.
Okay.
So it is useful in that way.
Okay, great. So these are the new Roku streaming devices. They are not sticks, the Premiere and Premiere Plus.
Yep.
Thank you all for watching. This has been One Cool Thing from PCMag.com. Do we have full reviews of these up yet on PCMag?
I believe so.
Okay, great. So check PCMag.com for the full reviews of these new $40 and $50 streaming not sticks. Streaming not sticks.
I call them bars, maybe?
Streaming bars?
Yeah. It's the same design that they rolled out with the Express, with like the pre-4K stuff.
Yeah, it's to get you that IR receiver.
And it actually comes with a strip of double-sided adhesive, because if you don't, the cable weight is going to tug
and then
this everywhere.
it tugs
this
it
is
around.
A tiny device.
But yeah, thank you all for watching. If you are watching on Facebook, head on back on Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. We will have another cool thing for you. If you are watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We have a new One Cool Thing every day.